All right, just for fun, I'm gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna cook a couple of New York strip steaks. I'm gonna cook one in the air fryer, and I'm gonna cook one on cast iron, and we'll see how they come out. Then I'm gonna take some of my favorite Redmond smoked salt. I use all different types of smoked salt. I have hickory here, cherry, apple pecan, and I even have their Chef's Blend smoked salt. Today I have cherry loaded in my grinder. I like to use the grinder whenever I'm cooking steaks like this. If I'm cooking something that's gonna roast a little while longer, I'll typically use this salt, which is basically cut to kosher size. But sometimes when you're cooking a steak with these, the kosher size is a little too big. So I set my grinder to the highest setting, and then I'll just coat it with it. This size meat, I'd say about 14 turns on each side should be enough. I'm gonna put some on the paper here so I can pick up some of the edges. Get them salted as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set both of these in my refrigerator to brine for at least an hour. Some people like to do that for 24 hours, but I find an hour is good enough for me. You know, it takes a little bit of a trick to learn how to cook on cast iron, and the last time I did it, I overheated it. So I'm gonna make sure I don't use too much heat this time and see if I can do it right. This is just a standard cast iron skillet and griddle that they sell at Walmart. Nothing fancy. All right, let's get this up to temperature. Just a little something to help grease the grill on the cast iron. Put a little Wagyu beef tallow onto the side that I'm going to cook it on, and then I'll put some on top too. While I wait for that to get warm, I'm going to go ahead and get the chef maker ready. Stick the probe into the thickest part of the meat. Ready to go. Matter of fact, since I'm going to set this up for sous vide, we'll go ahead and get it started early. Sous vide mode on Chef Maker takes a little longer. Sous vide flavor. And it's calculating and doing its thing. Meanwhile, this is heating up. All right, let's see what our pan temperature is up to. Looks like it's topping out at about 396 degrees so far. Let's apply a little bit of this. See, I don't like to use olive oil, so I'm going to use some Wagyu beef fat. I know I put some on the steak already, but I want to make sure it's not going to stick to our pan too much. There we go. Throw this steak on there. Love that sizzle. This is only my second time cooking with cast iron, so we'll see if I can do a good job of this one. We're going to try to turn this every minute. Man, look at that. But I'm not trying to say one way is better than the other. I just felt like showing you how to do steaks two different ways today. I'm going to do the side here. I love how this skillet puts in those nice cook marks on the steak. I better turn on my fan. Again. One thing I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to cooking with cast iron is all the splatter you got to deal with and the cleanup afterwards. Turn that heat down. We'll just turn it off now. $120 is good enough. We'll go ahead and take it off now. Let you get a look at it. Let's cut into it and see how it looks. We'll let it rest. Meanwhile, I want to take this off the heat. All right, these meter gloves are fantastic for picking up something hot like cast iron. I'm not going to put water on my cast iron right away. It sure made a lot of smoke in here. That's one of the things I don't like about using cast iron, is that it's so hard for me to get the temperature the way exactly I want it. Now, I'm sure with practice I'll get better at it. Meanwhile, let's see how the meat came out. Take my chef's knife here from Forge Blade. Oh yeah, this is a good result. I love it. All right, let's see how it tastes. What'd you expect? It wasn't gonna be good? Even with an idiot like me making it on a cast iron, filling up the house with smoke, the steak still comes out delicious. And now my steak just finished in the Dreo Chef Maker. It took a lot longer than it took to do on the cast iron. Let's get our trusty Tyfer temperature probe and see how it did. 118. But as far as the way it looks coming out, it's fantastic. And in the amount of time it takes a steak to rest, my air fryer is all clean. That cast iron, on the other hand, is going to take a few extra steps that I still got to do. So that's one of the things I love about the Chef Maker compared to cooking with cast iron. All right, let's see how this looks. Oh, as usual, Chef Maker makes it perfect. Let's see how it tastes. Juicy and delicious, crispy on the outside. Really couldn't ask for much more. So this came out perfect and right on time because my wife has just got back and she needs something she can take with her on the go to have to eat. So I'm happy, she's happy, I hope you're happy, and I'll see you next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?